Hi everybody, it's KJ from Metro Hobbies, and today we're taking a look at Light My Bricks. Light My Bricks for the Lego Blacksmith, Medieval Blacksmith, which is 21325. All right, without further ado, let's check out the smoke. Okay, so as always, Light My Bricks have focused on very much a display, but they've done a few things different here. So I just want to give you an overview of everything. I'm going to use my handy tweezers. This is Essential, by the way. So these are rounded tweezers by Trumpeter, which I also happen to get here, that helps you pull the wires through different areas, and it makes it much easier to install. So as I was going to say, there are spotlights designed here that lights up the set from the outside. So obviously you can imagine this in your display case or on your coffee table or on a bookshelf, and it gives it at night time that view of the outside, not just the internal lighting, which I'll get to a bit later. The other things, while I'm mentioning about essential tools, I'm going to talk to you, there's also, you're going to need your separator. You do need to remove some bricks in order to install these lights and then place them back down. That will help you. Along the way, you can use a battery box, but I really like to use a power bank. It's super, super easy. It's barely an inconvenience. You can easily just plug that in, and along the way you can test your lights. And it is very essential that you test your lights to make sure, one, you've actually done the right thing, and it's plugged in and it's functioning, that they're actually pressed into the expansion boards appropriately. Okay, so another thing I want to mention about the set before we start getting into all the details is that they've included wireless components in this, because this is like a modular build. So it means I can do that. And so now let's take a look inside. So we're on the base level. I'm just going to start by talking to you about the little carriage here, because as you can see, it's a little bit tethered. Now, that's because it's a display piece. You don't really need it to go too far. But if you have a massive medieval layout, and maybe you do, it's fairly easy fix here. So you could either get one of their little micro batteries, you can install that and then drop it inside and turn it on when you want to. Or you can add its own USB light to it, and you can wire it directly underneath somewhere else. It doesn't have to be tethered to the Medieval Blacksmith. It's just a simpler way to have just one power source, and you don't really need it to be too far away. All right, so now let's talk about the meat of this, or as you would say, the blacksmithing. There's a couple of details I want to point out which are really nice. They've added a candle in here because it's the medieval times, so you can't have a light strip and have glaring modern light lighting the scene. They've actually decided to add little candles to every single level to give it that warm medieval glow. And that's countered by these spotlights, of course. Now inside here, some really nice touches. Because you've got on the anvil, you've got a nice hot glowing iron bar that the blacksmith is hammering away there into shape. And I think that's just, it's a really nice touch. It really gives that sort of feel to it. It gives that life. It tells that story. The other thing they've done, and this is the one that I was thinking about all the time, is that what were they going to do with the light brick inside the actual fireplace and the hearth of the blacksmith, because the light brick already adds light. So what they've done is they've given it the flicker as if the fire's there, but it's not so bright that when you actually press the bellows and add oxygen to your fire, it does brighten it up. So it does give it a real sort of feel that that light brick's not just giving light to it, it's really adding some heat to the fire, so you can really melt down that iron ready to bang in the saw, or if you need a new knife. Okay, so let's go to the second level. But I just want to point out, actually, before we go there, I just want to point out that these are the wireless components. This is what allowed me to just seamlessly disconnect it so I can see that scene. And I think that scene is something that you would want to display. So to be able to do that, even for playability purposes or display purposes, it works beautifully. And they've also managed to hide the wires inside the chimney. So the chimney has now become functional, not for smoke, but for wire hiding. Okay, let's get to the next level. So essentially this light set is fairly simple and very, very elegant. So we have the nice little flickering fire lights there to light up the kitchen scene. We have a light over the cooking space so you can see that they're cooking a nice stew and it looks like something green. And then we have all the wires once again hiding in the chimney and then leading up to your next wireless component. The other thing is that they do have an outside light just on the outside to light your way. So they've really just kept it as simple as possible, but it's effective. It looks like a medieval kitchen. It really does have that sort of atmospheric feel. And as you can see, the lighting just disconnects quite seamlessly with those wires and then lights back up once you press it down. Okay, so that's not level number 2. Let's take a look at level number 3. We're up to the third and final roof. And this is the home section of the medieval life. This is the bedroom. This is the desk where you write all your stories in your journal and you sit by the fire. So let's see what they've done. In order to do that, I'm going to have to take off the roof and I'm going to have to spin it around. Okay, so here we are. We've got your classic little candles flickering, you've got your fireplace flickering, and just above the bed, I think this is the only overhead light they've actually added in the set. They have a little overhead there. They've added a little clear brick to put it in place, which is just there. Now, normally with modules, like I've mentioned before, they will use a white light strip, which that would be quite glaring and bright and light up the whole thing and would really take away from the atmosphere of a medieval blacksmith. So they've gone for just a single bit light that they've put in there with a clear part, and then they've got your little flickering candle and your beautiful flickering fire. And it's fairly simple. The wires again have come up through the chimney, and they again have used those wireless components which are just there that allow the whole set to be disconnected. And as you saw, the lights came off, and if I line it up properly, which for whatever reason the top is a little bit harder to do, it'll just reconnect the power and the lights go back on. Okay, everybody, that is Light My Bricks for the Medieval Blacksmith. It's gorgeous. It's elegantly simple. So if you haven't done Light My Bricks before and you have the Medieval Blacksmith, this is a fantastic place to start. Okay, it has a very nice final look to it, and it's not too difficult to hide the wires. I'm going to put all the links in the description below. That includes the links for things like the tweezers that I suggest that you use. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you'd like to see more videos like this, subscribe. And the most important thing is to remember, if you can imagine it, you can build it.